52 million people visit Orlando every year, and a huge share of them overpay, overheat, and stand in the wrong lines. The parks are built to move your money fast, and the strip outside them is full of restaurants and attractions engineered to look fun in a photo and feel empty in person. This video fixes that. For every spot, you get what to actually do there, what to eat and what it costs, the single best time to go, and where the tourist traps are hiding so you can skip them. By the end, you'll know how much a real Orlando trip costs, the 1 week you should never book, and the 10 things worth your day. We start where almost everyone starts, but with the plan a first-timer usually gets wrong. Magic Kingdom is the most visited theme park on Earth, and most first-timers burn it. A one-day ticket runs from about $120 in the off-season to over $190 on peak days with date-based pricing, so the day you pick changes the price before you buy anything. Here's how to actually use it. Arrive before the gates open because the first 90 minutes have the shortest lines of the entire day. Head straight to the rides that build the longest queues. Seven Dwarfs Mine Train, Space Mountain, Peter Pan's Flight, and Tron. Use the free mobile app to check wait times and mobile order your food, and consider the paid Lightning Lane if a line tops 60 minutes and you value the hour more than the money. For food, skip the expensive table service lunch that eats 90 minutes of park time. Grab a quick service meal for around $15 to $18 and get the thing people actually remember. A Dole Whip, the pineapple soft serve, for about $6. Best time of day is opening. Best time of year is the value season below. Do Magic Kingdom on a weekday, never a Saturday, and never during a holiday week, and you can ride more in a morning than most people manage in a full day. Locals will tell you the real reason to buy an Epcot ticket is the food. The back half of the park, World Showcase, is a ring of 11 country pavilions, and you can eat and drink your way around the entire world in an afternoon. A one-day Epcot ticket sits in the same range as Magic Kingdom, roughly $120 to $190. What makes it worth it is drinking around the world. Small plates and drinks from each pavilion, most in the $6 to $12 range. So you build a meal out of a Canadian cheddar soup, a French pastry, sushi in Japan, and a margarita in Mexico. Time your visit to one of the festivals, the Food and Wine Festival in fall, or the Flower and Garden Festival in spring, and the pavilions add dozens of extra tasting booths. The trap here is booking a pricey character dinner before you've walked the pavilions. Skip it. Graze instead, and you'll eat better for less. Best time is late afternoon into evening, when the lighting is best and the park stays open for the nighttime show over the lagoon. Go on a festival weekday and get a drink in hand before 5 p.m. when the after-work crowd arrives. If your group skews teen or adult and loves thrill rides, Universal beats Disney, and most first-timers don't realize it until they're already committed to a week of Disney. Universal now runs 3 theme parks: Universal Studios, Islands of Adventure, and Epic Universe, which opened in 2025 as the first brand new major park built in the United States in over 25 years. Islands of Adventure holds the best roller coaster in Florida, VelociCoaster, plus the original Hogwarts Castle ride. Epic Universe added a Super Nintendo World and a Harry Potter section set in 1920s Paris. Tickets run about $120 to $200 a day per park, and the multi-park pass makes sense here because the 2 Harry Potter areas connect by a train you can only ride with both parks. The upgrade worth its price is Universal Express, which skips most standby lines. It's expensive, often $100 or more on top of the ticket, but on a packed summer day, it can double how much you ride. Best time is a weekday outside summer and holidays. For the Wizarding World specifically, go at opening or in the last 2 hours before close when the day crowds thin out. You do not need a park ticket to spend a great evening in Orlando, and this is the tip that saves budget travelers the most. Both Disney and Universal built free entry dining and shopping districts: Disney Springs and Universal City Walk. Parking at Disney Springs is free. This is where you get theme park atmosphere, waterfront views, live music, and big-name restaurants without a $150 gate. You can eat at a proper sit-down spot for $20 to $40 a head, browse the largest Disney store in the world, and watch the crowds all for the price of a meal. The trap is treating these districts as a place to blow money on impulse. The stores are designed for it. Go for the atmosphere and one good meal, not a shopping spree. Best time is a weekday evening. Weekends here fill up with locals too. If you want a specific restaurant, book it online in advance, because the popular ones fill their tables days out even without park admission. 30 minutes north of the parks, the state's natural springs run a constant 72 degrees Fahrenheit, about 22 Celsius, every day of the year. Waukesha Springs State Park charges $6 per carload, not per person, which makes it the best value day in the whole region. You swim in water clear enough to see the sandy bottom, then rent a kayak or canoe for around $20 and paddle the river past turtles, herons, and the occasional wild alligator on the bank. Nearby Rock Springs at Kelly Park has a natural lazy river you float down on a rented tube. In winter, drive to Blue Spring State Park instead. When the ocean turns cold, hundreds of manatees pack into the warm spring run, and from a boardwalk in January, you can count 600 of them at once. There's no food inside worth planning around, so pack a cooler, which the parks allow. This is the day that resets a family fried by crowds and heat. Best time is a weekday morning, and you must arrive early. Popular springs hit capacity and close their gates by mid-morning on warm weekends. Manatee season at Blue Spring runs roughly mid-November through March. 45 minutes east on the beach line sits one of the busiest launch sites on the planet, and it's the best non-park day near Orlando for anyone who has ever looked up. Admission to the Kennedy Space Center, visitor complex runs around $75 for adults, less for kids, and one ticket covers the whole complex. Inside, one building holds Space Shuttle Atlantis, tilted as if in orbit and scorched from real missions. Another holds a complete Saturn V moon rocket, laid on its side and stretching the length of a football field. Give it at least half a day, and closer to a full day, if you take the bus tour out to the launch pads. Here's the move most people miss. Check the launch schedule before you pick your date. The Space Coast now launches dozens of rockets a year, sometimes more than one a week, and watching a real one lift off, even for free from Cocoa Beach nearby, beats any simulator in the parks. Food inside is standard cafeteria fare around $15, so eat before or after. Best time is a weekday, arriving at opening, ideally lined up with a launch window you can check online. 20 minutes from International Drive, the suburb of Winter Park is where Orlando's food and old money live, and almost no tourist finds it. Its main street, Park Avenue, runs past chef-driven restaurants, cafes, and a walkable district that feels nothing like the Strip. Two things make it a half day. The scenic boat tour, running since 1938, takes you on a roughly 1-hour pontoon cruise through hand-dug canals and past lakefront mansions for about $18. And the Morse Museum holds the world's largest collection of Louis Comfort Tiffany glass, including an entire stained glass chapel from the 1893 World's Fair for around $8. For food, this is your escape from overpriced tourist strip chains. Have a real brunch or dinner on Park Avenue in the $20 to $40 range, or grab a Cuban sandwich, a Central Florida staple, for under $12. The trap this replaces is eating every meal on International Drive, where you pay resort prices for average food. Best time is late morning into a long lunch. Any day but skip Monday, when some museums and shops close. Before Disney existed here, Orlando's first attraction was an alligator farm, and it's still open, still family-run, and a fraction of the price. Gatorland opened in 1949 and charges around $35 for adults, roughly a fifth of a Disney day. You walk in through a giant concrete gator jaw, watch a gator wrestling show, feed thousands of alligators, and can zip line directly over the swamp where they live. It's rough around the edges in the best way, and for families with younger kids, it delivers more animal contact per dollar than the big parks. If you're weighing it against SeaWorld, Gatorland is cheaper, quicker, and more hands-on, though SeaWorld wins on big roller coasters. For a genuinely local bite, try the fried gator tail, which the park and roadside spots nearby sell for around $12 to $15. It tastes like chewy chicken, and it's the one I ate that in Florida story worth having. Best time is right at the 10 a.m. opening, when the animals are active and the Florida heat hasn't peaked. Plan 2 to 3 hours, not a full day. The single biggest food secret in Orlando is a neighborhood most visitors never hear about. Mills 50, just north of downtown, is the city's Vietnamese and Asian food district, packed with some of the best cheap eats in Florida. A giant bowl of pho runs about $12 to $15, and banh mi sandwiches go for under 10. A few minutes away, Lake Eola anchors the real downtown, a swan boat lake ringed by park, with a Sunday farmers market and bars and restaurants along Orange Avenue. There's also a little Brazil stretch on the north end of International Drive, where a Brazilian steakhouse rodizio runs $40 to $60 of all-you-can-eat grilled meat. One local money hack, a Publix supermarket sub, the Pub Sub, is a beloved Florida lunch for about $8, and it beats most food court meals in the parks. The trap this beats is assuming Orlando has no food scene outside the resorts. It has a great one, at a third of the price. Best time for Mills 50 is lunch, when the Vietnamese spots are freshest, and Sunday morning for the Lake Eola market. Avoid the dinner rush at the tiny popular restaurants by going a little early. The most valuable thing a first-timer can know about Orlando is when to go, because it changes crowds, prices, and how much you sweat. This is the item that saves the most money in Missouri. Book the value windows, mid-January through early February, late August through September, and the first weeks of December before the holidays. In those stretches, hotel rates drop, parks are walkable, and ride waits fall by half. The trade-off in late summer is heat and a near-daily afternoon thunderstorm. So do outdoor parks in the morning and save indoor rides for the storm. Never book the peak weeks unless you have no choice. Christmas through New Year's, the week of the 4th of July, and spring break in March. Prices spike, and the big parks can hit capacity and stop admitting people. Hurricane season runs June through November, with the real risk from August to October, so travel insurance is worth a small cost then. A realistic budget for a family of 4 doing 4 days, 2 in the parks and 2 on springs, space and food, lands around $2,500 to $4,000, including a mid-range hotel, a rental car, tickets, and meals. Cut the park days to 1 and lean on the free and cheap options in this video, and you can do the same trip for well under half that. 5 things everyone books and most regret. Number 1, park hopper tickets you can't use. The upsell that lets you bounce between parks in one day sounds great and rarely works, because Orlando parks are far apart and you'll waste hours in transit. Buy it only if you're a local or a repeat visitor. First-timers should do one park, one day. Well, number 2, International Drive tourist strip restaurants. The chain buffets and world-famous themed spots along I-Drive charge resort prices for average food. Eat in Mills 50, Winter Park, or downtown instead. Number 3, overpriced dinner shows. The medieval joust and pirate dinner shows run $60 to $80 a head for mediocre food and a gimmick. Skip them and spend that money on a real meal or an extra park hour. Number 4, renting a car and then paying to park at the resort every day. Standard Disney parking is about $30 a day. If you're staying on site and doing only parks, use the free resort transport. If you're exploring springs in downtown, rent the car and skip the on-site hotel premium. Pick one strategy, don't pay for both. Number 5, the generic I-Drive photo attractions. Most of the small museums and upside-down house-style stops on the Strip are quick cash grabs. The one worth it is the giant observation wheel at Icon Park for the view, around $30, ideally at sunset. Skip the rest. Do Orlando right and it isn't the money pit people warn you about. One park done early, $6 spring, a real meal in Winter Park or Mills 50, a rocket on the horizon, and the right week on the calendar, and you'll see more than the family that spent twice as much standing in lines. A smart 4-day trip lands between $2,500 and $4,000 for a family of 4, and far less if you skip the second park. Go in the value season, never over the holidays, and drink your way around Epcot instead of booking the character dinner. If this is going in your trip planner, subscribe, because we do one city at a time. Tell me in the comments which city you want next. Up next, Las Vegas, and 10 things that sound like lies but check out.